Coming up next on KYOU News for You at 10, Wapello County Emergency Management holds a press conference to discuss the future of COVID-19 prevention.
If your holiday weekend starts on Friday, you are in for some great weather. In fact, a holiday weekend all in all, not too bad. We'll take a look at that detailed forecast coming up.
Plus, an administrator for the U.S. Department of Housing and Development stops by Ottumwa to tour downtown. These stories and more as KYOU News for You at 10 starts right now.
Live from Ottumwa, the news that's important to you. This is KYOU News for You at 10.
Good evening, I'm Eric Monaghan. County leaders and the Ottumwa mayor gathered at City Hall to go over concerns about the growing number of cases of the coronavirus and the upcoming holiday. Today at City Hall in Ottumwa, a meeting was held between Public Health Director Linnell Dyers, Mayor Tom Lazio, and Wapello County Emergency Management Director Tim Richmond to discuss cases of COVID and questions received about the upcoming holiday weekend. Richmond also touched on the reopening of the Emergency Operations Center fully, whereas Dyers discussed similarities in COVID and the flu.
It can be a physical place, it could be a virtual place. We've been working it virtually for quite a number of weeks now, but when we say it's a full activation, that means there are actually people staffing the physical place that we stand up. So we have a touch point, a central coordination command center to deal with a specific disaster in a community. So currently COVID is the disaster that we are working.
What's interesting about COVID is that it has symptoms that are very similar to the influenza, but then in addition to that, it has some additional symptoms that we don't really correlate with influenza. So if you would get both, it could really take a healthy individual down to the point where they would need to be hospitalized.
Both Richmond and Dyers expressed the need for people to wear masks, especially during the Labor Day weekend. And with that, let's have a look at Wapello County's coronavirus numbers. Currently, Wapello County has 69 active COVID cases, with 7 of those currently in the hospital. To date, there have been 1,086 cases, with 967 recovered. Fortunately, there were no new deaths today, leaving the county's toll at 50. And Iowa spends another day as one of the country's COVID hotspots. The state reporting 67,151 cases now, and with 9 new deaths today, bringing our state's total to 1,135 deaths. And this afternoon, officials from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development visited Ottumwa to check in on the development of the downtown area. KYOU's James Barrickman was there and found out how the partnership between HUD and the Area 15 Planning Commission has helped to push the city forward.
Jason Moore is the Great Plains Regional Administrator for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. On his tour of southeast Iowa today, he made a stop in Ottumwa.
So I like to listen to community leaders and see what their issues are. If there's something that's makes a project harder because of HUD, I want to hear about it.
Escorted by officials from Main Street Ottumwa and the Area 15 Planning Commission, Moore toured areas of downtown that have been assisted with money from HUD, including several building facades, the streetscape project, and Canteen Alley. Moore says that focusing development on one central location can be a good thing for local business.
I know in other communities that I've visited this week that they they'll work on a building here, building there, but I think when you do a one whole block that, other business owners that are on that block see that and they say, maybe I should be putting a little more money into my building to make it, spruce it up a little bit. So
the partnership between HUD and several local development organizations has been vital to the growth of the downtown area, according to Main Street Ottumwa Director Fred Zessiger.
It was great to hear him say that this was kind of the crown jewel of his tour through southeast Iowa, and saw really how their dollars were really helping a community out.
Zessiger said that once the streetscape project is finished, the focus will shift to development of the riverfront. I'm James Barrickman, KYOU News for You.
And here's a live look now on our Ottumwa City Cam. Let's look ahead to this holiday weekend with meteorologist Joe Winters on our first alert forecast.
Winds have been the big factor through our Thursday. They certainly have lightened up and will continue to remain light now as we head through our nighttime hours as that front continues to push off to the east and south. Notice the direction change on Friday, becoming a little bit more southwesterly again. Again, wind's not playing a role, but a southwest turn in the wind always should be an indication to us of some milder conditions moving in. And we'll see that as we head into the weekend. Pinpoint Futurecast holds with some very quiet weather conditions as we can see. Clouds hard to find across the area as we head through our Friday, so enjoy lots of sunshine, and that should hold into Saturday as well. Your planner down to about 50 degrees. By noon, we're up to 77, clear or sunny skies, a very light northwest wind shifting around to the southwest later in the day. Now, if you do have some mowing to do or some yard work, there's your yard work forecast. We're calling it fair on Sunday and Monday because that's when rain chances will develop. We'll time out those rain chances with Pinpoint Futurecast coming up.
And a local nonprofit is gearing up for its first ever diaper drive next week on September 9th. The diaper distribution will be held from 2 to 6 p.m. at CETA Community Action's location off of 2nd Street. CETA secured a grant from the Legacy Foundation, which allowed them to give away 16,000 diapers to families in need. Diapers are available for Wapello County residents, and applications can be found at CETA's office or online at ceta.org. Family Support Services Director for CETA, Jennifer Huber, says the process is simple.
So we'll have diapers sizes newborn to 6, and anyone who meets the under 200% poverty level is eligible as long as they live in Wapello County. They can pick up the applications here at 725 West 2nd at our CETA office, or on the website they can print it from there, and they just need to bring it with them on September 9th.
Families can bring those applications with them to the diaper drive on September 9th. CETA says they plan to host the drive monthly for at least the next 6 months. And Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signed a proclamation for the general election to include the question of whether or not to call a constitutional convention to propose amendments to the Iowa State Constitution. If a majority approves of calling a convention, the next General Assembly would be required to enact a process for electing delegates to the convention and for submitting any amendments for ratification by the people of Iowa. And classes at Simpson College in Iowa were canceled Wednesday, today, for a rally after a racist rant during a black student union meeting. Police and the school's IT department are investigating, trying to find the individual who joined the virtual meeting. Simpson officials say if the person responsible is a student, they face suspension or expulsion. Marcus McIntosh reports.
I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone who is out here today.
Taylor Williams says she does not have hate for the person who invaded the BSU meeting chanting racial slurs. She feels sorry for that person because she knows there are far more good people than bad people.
I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
Simpson administration turned to Indianola police, who along with the college IT department are investigating to find whomever is responsible.
That is not how we treat one another, and we expect more, frankly. And so we are doing everything in our power to support the students who were impacted, any students who feel unsafe, and any students who might have a concern.
It is very emotional for students, black students who call Simpson home. Students who tell us the hijacked Zoom call is just the latest racial incident on campus. And while the support for the rally gives them a glimmer of hope,
I would have never expected in my whole life for Simpson's campus to look like this on a day like this. So it means so much to me that I can look out and see all of these people who took time to come and support their POCs on this campus.
They know the road is a long one, and the only way to walk that path is everyone, regardless of the color of their skin, walking it together.
Next up, presidential candidate Biden visits Kenosha, Wisconsin to address the racial tensions in the city. You're watching KYOU News for You at 10.
Live from Ottumwa, you're watching News for You at 10. Available anytime on KYOUTV.com.
Welcome back. I'm Eric Monaghan. Joe Biden made a stop today in Kenosha, Wisconsin to address the racial tensions and racial unrest over the police killing of Jacob Blake. It's a different angle than the one that President Trump is taking when he visited Kenosha yesterday and Tuesday. But the two candidates may ultimately share the same goal. Karen Kayfa is at the White House to explain.
Joe and Jill Biden in Kenosha, Wisconsin, as the community attempts to heal. I'm optimistic about the opportunity if we seize it.
Violent protests consumed parts of the city after police shot Jacob Blake in the back.
This is not who we are.
Biden met with the Blake family, something President Trump didn't do during his visit to Kenosha Tuesday. Instead, the president thanked law enforcement.
I want to thank your police and your great people from law enforcement. They've done a fantastic job.
Toward damaged property.
We're going to work with you. We're going to help you. Okay? We'll help you rebuild.
And promised to bring his campaign message to the community.
They want law and order.
The trips from the two candidates serve a political purpose. Wisconsin voters could be the key to winning the White House. In 2016, Wisconsin, along with Michigan and Pennsylvania, catapulted Trump to the presidency. Now, the Trump campaign attempting to hold on to at least one of those states, but it could be an uphill battle. A poll of registered Wisconsin voters shows Biden leading Trump 49 to 41%. In Pennsylvania, a new survey shows no clear leader in the critical battleground state, which is why President Trump is in the Keystone State Thursday, and Joe Biden took a trip on Monday.
I've decided to come to Pittsburgh to talk a little bit about what's going on right now.
As the campaigns watch the polls and do the math, the push for swing states will only get more intense as November nears. At the White House, I'm Karen Kaifa.
And the CDC is asking states to begin preparations to distribute a potential coronavirus vaccine as soon as late October. The center is offering plans on how to distribute a vaccine and who should get it first. Healthcare and essential workers, long-term care facility residents, and national security populations are at the top of the list. Ahead of a vaccine, the federal government normally readies the distribution network to remove any stumbling blocks, such as getting states to grant the permits and licenses that a contracted pharmaceutical company, McKesson, will need to distribute vaccines. However, this does not mean that the CDC thinks a vaccine will be approved in any less than 2 months. But the CDC's director does say he hopes one will be ready by the end of the year. And the jobless trend seems to be heading in the right direction. According to the latest job report, less than 1 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. The Labor Department reported 881,000 Americans filed initial claims for benefits. That's the lowest since early August. 13 million Americans filed continued jobless claims, which count people filing for benefits for at least 2 weeks in a row. That's more than 1 million fewer than last week. One thing to note, the Labor Department changed its methodology for seasonal adjustments starting with this report. And while unemployment numbers are slowing, they're still far above those seen in the 2008 crisis. But lawmakers do return to Capitol Hill next week, and at the top of their to-do list, taking another look at COVID-related relief for Americans. The White House is presenting a new, thinner stimulus bill, but Democrats say the proposal is too little, too late. Whitney Wild has the latest from Washington.
Americans hit hard by COVID-19's economic impact have gone from disappointed to desperate.
When it hit, I lost my job. So it took me like a month to get another job. This is my check, but I ain't making it with $300.
Senators will return to Capitol Hill after Labor Day, likely taking another look at stimulus legislation meant to ease the pain. As regular citizens navigate the devastation, Republicans and Democrats remain oceans apart.
All I can tell you at the moment is we're at a stalemate, so I don't know whether we're going to get another package here in the next few weeks or not.
Democrats suggested a multi-trillion-dollar relief bill, but Republicans won't sign off on the cost and propose smaller legislation to fund schools, small businesses, and scaled-back federal unemployment benefits. Democrats accuse Republicans of ignoring the totality of the crisis. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer wrote to his colleagues, Republicans may call their proposal skinny, but it would be more appropriate to call it emaciated.
Secretary Mnuchin, I hope you will return to the negotiating table prepared to find common cause on legislation that meets the pressing needs of Americans.
Adding pressure, the budget deadline at the end of the month. If they can't agree on a deal to fund the government, lawmakers will face yet another shutdown. I'm Whitney Wild reporting.
Coming up, nursing homes with poor inspection history. What happens inside? Our investigative team finds out.
Friday ends our work week, and as you step outside the door on Friday, you're going to see some clear skies. You'll see sunshine through the day and really some fantastic Friday weather. Can it hold through our holiday weekend? That forecast is coming up.
You're watching KYOU News for You at 10. And now, First Alert Weather.
It's Thursday, so the latest drought monitor has come up, and really as we glance across much of the Midwest and especially back across the Rockies and Plains, there's large pockets of some very, very dry ground out there. Let's take a closer look right now at our viewing area. We have moved now into some moderate drought conditions across southern areas of Iowa, farther into northern Missouri, some dry conditions, and as you can see, we have severe and extreme drought back across areas of western and central areas of Iowa. We're just starting to see some of that severe drought nudging into our viewing area. We'll watch that, but with an overall dry forecast, a couple chances of rain here and there, I wouldn't expect much change next week. So the dry pattern we're in is likely to continue. There's a look. Take a look at Pinpoint Futurecast. That's where we want those 70-degree dew points, down to the south and east. We love 40-degree dew points. Feels fantastic, and that also means cooler overnight lows. We'll enjoy that. We've already dropped down into the 50s in some spots. Looks like the 40s will be found across areas of Minnesota, Wisconsin, northern areas of Iowa. We'll probably say in the 50s, but the 70-degree readings right now, which are warm for this time of night, down to the south, along a front that passed through. We knew the front came through. The winds picked up through the day. Now, though, high pressure is dominating our weather. And with that high in place, there we see the closer it gets, the lighter northerly winds. But on the backside of that high, here comes that southerly return flow. So as that high moves to our east and south, southerly return flow moves in, and that in time for the weekend will bring us that chance of some showers and storms. There's a look at Pinpoint Futurecast. We are looking now at quiet conditions. In fact, we'll just move this ahead. Starting at 11 p.m. tonight, heading all the way through Friday morning. About the only change, if you're really watching, those winds start to switch around to a little more southwesterly direction later in the day. They do pick up a bit as we head toward our Saturday. That will bring us some warmer conditions as we start the day on Saturday. So keep in mind a breezy Saturday, and that is also going to allow a little more moisture to build. And as that moisture builds across the area, that also is going to bring a chance of some showers and storms. Overnight tonight, though, clear, down near 50. Northwest winds expected at 5 to 10. For Friday, sunny skies, a high of 85, a light southwest wind, again at 5 to 10. Friday is a fantastic day. If it starts off your holiday weekend, congratulations, you picked a good one. The comfort level on our Muggy meter is great, upper 40s, lower 50-degree dew points, absolutely no problems at all. We should be able to enjoy what will be a very beautiful, beautiful early September day. Forecast wind ranges kind of all over the place. We're at a transition time right now. Take a look. Southwest wind Friday, west wind, and a southerly wind Sunday. Here comes your warmth back into the area, and you'll see that, and you'll certainly feel like summer this weekend. But by Monday, a west, and then finally on Tuesday, a northwest or northerly flow. We are seeing a change with another front moving through. As it does, it will cool us down as we head toward the mid part of next week. So let's take a look at our temperature outlook farther into that. Mid-September, still calling for below normal conditions, and yeah, there we talked about the dry conditions continuing. Overall, a drier weather period. We do show some showers and storms though on Sunday. Upper 80s, could be some lower 90s in the area for Labor Day, which of course is Monday. We're looking at 86 degrees. Could be a scattered shower or storm, maybe a better chance again on Tuesday as we fall back down in the 60s with overnight lows dipping into the 40s. That's a look at our 7-day forecast. Eric, back to you.
Hundreds of nursing homes with poor inspection histories are waiting to get into a program meant to help them get better. Our national investigative team found some where people have died, another where a resident was sent away with no money and no help. Here's Investigate TV's Lee Zurich with Listed.
I've been with Lyft for 3.2 years.
Rex Riley has a 5-star rating, more than 1,600 rides, but one involving an elderly man battling dementia, a nursing home, and a remote Hawaii hotel clearly stands out.
It is the most memorable of the 1,600.
Federal records show this nursing home in Hilo, Hawaii withdrew money from a resident's trust account, then lined up Rex Riley's Lyft.
They had put 2 boxes of his belongings and a wheelchair in the back of my car.
Staff sent the man 100 miles away, around a 2-hour drive, to the Monaghan hotel where they said he had a reservation. But the patient had no identification, no money, no credit card, no medication. And federal records show he was lethargic, unable to walk, and one foot was purple. This is just one of several violations inspectors found at the Hilo Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. Violations so serious, the home should be part of a program reserved for the worst in the country, what's called the Special Focus Facility Program. but it's not. Instead, this home and nearly 450 others are essentially on a waiting list, candidates waiting to be part of the program that's supposed to provide extra oversight of nursing homes with years of persistent poor quality of care. The list reveals some nursing homes have been waiting to be a part of the Special Focus Facility program for as long as 6 years.
Does it make sense that a home can be on the candidate list for several years and never get into the program?
No, it doesn't. And the only reason why that's the case is a question of resources, that they can, in a sense, only put a limited amount, and presently I think it's about 84 on the participant list, but they can only make that list of 84 be the subject of additional review and more frequent inspection and oversight, because that's the limit of the resources.
Mark Parkinson is president of the American Healthcare Association, which lobbies on behalf of nursing homes.
We would love to see a program where maybe the bottom 10% of facilities in the country, 1,500 facilities, 15 times the current number on the special focus list, were given special attention and special collaboration to get better. That would materially move the quality needle across the country.
Meantime, Rex Riley hasn't forgotten about that passenger.
So I know that he survived and was cared for after this incident.
Or that nursing home in Hilo, Hawaii, that remains on the waiting list.
They've endangered this man's situation. They put him in a car, drove him 110 miles, and expected me to drop him off, and that was the end of it.
Senator Casey says he wants Congress to inject $20 billion into nursing home oversight so these poor-performing facilities receive extra scrutiny. Legacy Hilo and Bethel Lutheran did not respond to requests for comment. And the Patriots now know who will be the leader of the team when they take the field. Details coming up.
And now, KYOU Sports for You.
Suspended wide receiver Josh Gordon has reportedly found a new team once he is officially reinstated by the NFL. Gordon's new team is actually, well, it's an old one. The Seattle Seahawks have agreed to a one-year deal with a former All-Pro receiver. Gordon has been suspended multiple times by the NFL for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing drugs and substance abuse. His latest indefinite suspension coming in December of last year. However, his application for reinstatement is reportedly going well, so the Seahawks worked out a deal to bring him back to the team. Gordon caught 47 passes last season between the Patriots and the Seahawks, accounting for 426 yards and 1 touchdown. He was named the first-team All-Pro receiver in 2013. However, Gordon has not played a full season since his 2012 rookie year, missing both the 2015 and 2016 seasons altogether due to suspensions. And Cam Newton has been officially named as the Patriots' starting quarterback. Throughout training camp, Belichick said there was a competition for the starter's job, but now, according to the Boston Globe, he has settled on Newton, and he's told his team about his decision this morning during a team meeting. Newton joined New England in June after being released by the Carolina Panthers in March. Newton is a 66-55-1 in his career, with 29,041 passing yards for 182 touchdowns. However, he has also rushed for 4,806 yards with 58 touchdowns and 367 first downs in his first 9 seasons in the league. The Patriots open up against Dolphins a week from Sunday. And the Brooklyn Nets have their new head coach, and it is Hall of Famer Steve Nash. The unexpected hire was announced today by the team. Despite not having any coaching experience, the Nets highlighted Nash's strength as a leader, communicator, and a mentor who they say will garner the respect of the players. Nash's lead assistant will be Jack Vaughn, who was the interim coach for the Nets after the team fired Kenny Atkinson back in February. The 46-year-old Nash retired as a player in 2015. And that's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us for KYOU News for You at 10. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, for news and the latest First Alert forecast, 24 hours a day, like our Facebook page and visit our website, KYOUTV.com. Have a great night.